Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. Welcome if you're new. My name is Robin and this is Knotting Hook Crochet. And hopefully the tripod isn't going to sink. This week has not been a super productive week for me because I spent the first few days completing my temperature blanket from last year. So there's that. Then I wanted to try, I hear everybody talking about these loveys. So I bought this really cute pattern for this mallard duck lovey. I don't know, I have this thing for mallard ducks right now because of that movie. I just think they're going to be super popular at markets and such. But yeah, so I was searching on Etsy and I came across this one and it looked so cute. So Thursday, I tried making it. Now it was a little different. Now you would think they would be easy because basically it's a plushie that's not stuffed. So you would think it would be pretty easy, but this pattern, it called for the bean stitch. And I've done that before, a long time ago, but not in the round. You know, it was back and forth rows, and it looks way different than what this turned out. So I think maybe I did something wrong with the stitch because, I don't know, it just didn't come out right. So I spent like the entire day working on this. I mean, it took me several hours. And when I got up to the shoulder part, you know, where you attach the wings, and it just had gaping holes. I'll pop in a picture to show you what I'm talking about. But it had gaping holes, so I had to frog that out. And we all know that Parfait Chunky does not frog well. So I lost a bunch of yarn. And I wasn't happy about it. So what I ended up doing in that shoulder area is using a single crochet, because all I could see was little tiny fingers. You know, if somebody liked it and purchased it, all I could see was little tiny fingers getting tangled up into the body of it. But this is my lovey, my mallard duck. He's got his little tail back here. And it has like nice texture to it. Like, I don't know, it makes it look feathery. But up here's where I was talking about. I had to pull that out. Since I frogged it out, I took the opportunity to change it to the teddy bear because it looked weird with the wing color way down here, and then this part being the toffee. So, I mean, I used my colors that I wanted to use and not necessarily the colors that the pattern called for. So, my thinking was if I did 2 rows of single crochet for each bean stitch row, that would give me about the same height. And never understood the knots. I'm not sure why they're there. If anybody knows that, you can let me know in the comment below. But that I found very hard to do because this is so thick and bulky. I found it hard to tie the knots, but I got it. I struggled with it, but I got it. So the tips of the wings, if you followed the pattern, it's the same color as the ring around the neck. And it was longer and a knot was tied in. That one, for some reason, I just couldn't get. I would have had to go longer and longer and longer and longer. So when I worked on the wings, I pulled it out and then I just did this little tip part, which I don't care for too much. I think it looks weird. But for the most part, this thing, it turned out really cute. I will make another one, but I have to figure out what I did wrong, if anything, in this bean stitch. Because it seems to me it should be like slanted, because you do a row of bean and then a row of single crochet, and like the next row should, I would think, should be offset from the previous so that it doesn't look all lined up. Like, you know, it should just be like staggered. I don't know. But somehow something went wrong. But he still turned out really adorable. So then Friday came along, and I'm still thinking about this guy. So I wanted to test out my theory of doing the 2 rounds of single crochet for every round of bean stitch. So not wanting to waste my good yarn in case it didn't work out, because again, we all know Parfait Chunky does not frog well. I broke out the, a while back I had purchased some Premier Basics Chenille Brights, and I didn't have the colors to do it in a mallard, but I had white and yellow, so I did like a white duck with the yellow feet and beak. Well, that wasn't a good test because it didn't feel like it would be that much thicker, but it was a lot thicker. So I did this white one. Here's his face, he's sleeping. I did his eyes a little different. Now I haven't put his little tuft of hair on him yet, so he still needs that. I did the wing without that funky looking little tip because I knew I wasn't going to be able to tie the knot. And I think that even that part of it could go away. And I did it in all single crochet. And this thing's a monster. I mean, look at its head compared to my head. And it's really, really long. Like, this could be the size of a 1-year-old. I mean, it's pretty big. I don't know how big they're supposed to be. The pattern said it would be 11 inches, I think. And this one is 18 inches. That's what my final results came out to. But this one, as you can almost see, came out much, much bigger. Now, part of that is the yarn type, and the other part could be because I did 2 rounds of single for every bean, which should have been close. So I'm thinking the yarn size. And then the feet, because this part came out so big, I did not do the longer leg to tie it in a knot. I just let it go like that. I'm gonna have to play with this some more. I really don't want to waste my Parfait Chunky if it's not gonna work out. But like this part came out to, when I started replacing the beans, the bean stitch row with 2 rows of single crochet, that I needed to do 20 rows of the single crochet. Now, if I did 15, it would take that much off, but if I dropped it to 10, it would take that much off the length of the body, which might help considerably. So I might try that again. I love the shape that it makes for the beak. You know, it just has more of that realistic shape on the attachment instead of it just being the straight piece stuck onto the head. It comes up a little bit. So I love how they came up with the shape for that. The tail is cute. Now technically it should be 2 colors. Like the little tips here is 1 color, and then the part that attaches would be the body color. But I was limited on my colors for this yarn. So this is like really heavy, really big. Not sure that anybody would be interested in one this size. Like I said, I never made them before. I don't know how big they're supposed to be, but the mallard is way cuter just because it's got all the colors. You know, the white's kind of but the mallard came out. He came out cute. it bothers me with the holes. So if you know what I did wrong with the bean stitch, let me know. So we did that. And then I had been looking at this pattern for a while. And it's not a plushie, but I think it would be something that would be good for adults at a market and be something a little different, but still cute. So I purchased this pattern. Now, before I show it to you, you need to know I did not use the proper yarn. It should be a solid color, not a variegated. And the pattern called to use double skein and a 10mm hook. I did a single skein with a 6mm hook on yarn that called for an 8mm hook. And it was some yarn that I had purchased in a thrift store, so, you know, it's like wasn't enough to do anything with. I think it was like 190 yards on a skein, and it was more than enough to make this with. But because it's variegated, you don't quite get to see the detail like you would if it was plain. So it's a basket. Now, if I did it the way the pattern said, it should be about 27 inches wide on the base, and I don't remember the height, but it's supposed to be an owl. And it's hard to see like the eyes and the beak because of the variegated yarn. Now, the one thing I didn't like about this pattern, I mean, it's super easy. This worked up really quick. Took me like maybe an hour. And that was having to stop and like read the pattern, where am I at? What I didn't like was the way the eyes are done. Because like this eye is the right side out. And then this one you have to flip it backwards. So you're seeing the wrong side. And it makes them, other than the fact that one's green and one's brown, it makes them look different. So I'm almost wondering if, instead of working in a spiral on the eyes, if you shouldn't flip the rows. That way they would look more similar. You know, like actually do the slip stitch join and then turn your work to do the next round so that they look more similar when they're attached to the basket. So, I mean, in person, you can kind of see it a little better, but I think it would be cute. Like the bottom part is a little bit wider, but I could fit a roll of toilet paper in here, but this part's still a little fluffy. So if I had gone down in hook size a little bit, it probably would make the perfect toilet paper holder. But in the full-size one, it says, now, I think some patterns, they lie a lot, but it says that you can fit 3 full-size towels rolled up into the basket. If I had made it the way the pattern said, using the 2 double skeins and the 10mm hook, but that'd have to be some pretty thick yarn. And it's, like, this isn't very firm. Like if I had gone down in hook size a little, it'd be a little stiffer. And because, you know, imagine if it was full of stuff, it would be stiff, you know, it'd be fine. But even the full size, if it came out to the dimensions that the pattern said, it'd make like a cute little toy basket. You could stick an office trash can in it, and it could like hold the trash can. So, I mean, it was just a thought for something different. So this Tuesday, I get to head south and go visit another YouTube friend. And she has Joann's and Michael's and who knows what else stores near her, which, you know, I don't have here. So I'm going to look and see what kind of yarn I can get to redo this basket And then I'll show you again. We'll do a comparison like this. Not such a good choice, variegated, which I love the colors in it. It just wasn't a good choice for this. Versus some like neutral earth tone type color with, you know, I'll look at the pattern and see like the proper type of yarn and all that to get. So I want to see if I can pick something like that up. Plus, you know, I want to see, before I spend my money, I want to see how that big twist posh feels. So if her Joann's has it, I'll be able to do the old touchy-feely thing and check it out and maybe buy a skein or two to see if it's something I would like to work with. I don't want to spend a bunch of money on it because like I have a bunch of Bernat blanket that will be here forever. So I have that. And then I was like, I need to make a couple of plushies, real plushies. So I pulled out, last week I showed you my bunny that I made. And I'm gonna go get that bunny. So hang on, I'm back. So last week I showed you from this pattern bundle pack that I bought, this bunny that I made with the floppy ears. And I had used Parfait Chunky and a 4.5 millimeter hook on this one. But it came with a bear, a cat, the bunny, and then 2 ways to do the ears on the bunny. So I busted out some gray yarn, and originally I was gonna do the cat, and I'm just working away and I get to the point I'm like, I already made the bunny tail. So we ended up doing another bunny. But I selected the shorter ears and they stand up on top. Now I need to redo the belly button. I did the belly button too big on this one. When I look at it like this, it looks fine, but from a distance, it looks like the belly button's too big, like when you compare it to that one. So this one was with the 4.5 millimeter and this one was with the 5 millimeter. And I must have some real tension issues because this is smaller than this. And this is the white with the not so much fluff on the string. And this one was the gray that is decent. So I can't, it has to be my tension. It's the only thing it can be. So I did that and I was like, I want to do another one. And I think I like these short ears better than the floppy ears. I just think it's a little cuter. So I pulled out my Michael's Sweet Snuggles Light. Now I don't have a huge color assortment in that either, but I had a pretty pink. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with a pink bunny. So we made a pink bunny and did the same short ears, added the bow, did a little bit more detail on the face, not much. I just added the little eyelid and still gave it a belly button. But 6 millimeter hook, Michael's Sweet Snuggles Light, 5 millimeter hook, Premier Basics, and we have quite the size difference. I like this better. I feel like there's more substance. You know, same work, a little bit more stuffing, but you know, you feel it looks like you're getting something for your money. So I like these. I really do want to do the cat. And, well, I don't know. The bear, I'm not so sure about. I'll probably try one just to try one. And basically all that is, it's got the same bunny tail. And I think it's just the ears that are different and maybe the placement of the eyes and the nose. So I have those. And as you can see right here, I ordered myself a generic boppy. And I was trying it out. I was trying it out in the recliner. And when you put the recliner up and your feet go up, it like scrunches everything up. So it was a little awkward to use. I think in my glider rocker where I sit up more straight, it would be more helpful. So, and plus I was using it when I was trying to do this beast here. So I felt like everything was too close up to my face. I definitely, if you're the type that needs to, like me wearing glasses, that need to have the crochet right up close to your eyes where you can see, one of these would definitely be beneficial. If you don't need it right up there, you're going to want to be sitting back. And even then, I'm not sure how much help that's going to be, like for the elbows. That was the whole point of it. So I'm glad I got a generic and not the real thing because the price difference was huge. So I'm just, all I'm saying at this moment is I'm not sure how much help it'll be for me. I will try it again, sitting in a different chair with a different project, one that's not so big and long, and see if that makes a difference. Maybe a regular blanket, one where it could spread out more, would have been okay. But this being so condensed and heavy, it was like right up there. But anyhow, I filled out an application for a market in March, which would be in Wildwood. I haven't heard back yet. They do limit the amount of vendors per type of craft. And it's a small business and craft expo, which has been making me kind of toss it back and forth. Like, what if it's all small businesses that show up? You know, what if there's no crafters? Are people going to actually go to something like that? I don't know. But I need to get back out there. Now that the whole jury duty thing isn't hanging over my head, I'm a free woman again. So I need to get back out there. And I like making these bunnies, so I wanted to have a market that's before Easter. You know, so I can put the bunnies out and see if anybody wants them. So I'll know in a couple of days if I was able to get into that one, you know, like if they don't already have too many yarn type crafts. And then I also signed up for that market, the last market I did in Williston. They must have shared the information from the vendors to another place, Sweet Berry Farms. They are starting brand new, starting in the first Saturday of April and the first Saturday of every month after that. They're going to do a farmer type market. Now, I did have someone tell me to stay away from the farmer's market. I have watched enough videos here on YouTube where other people set up at the farmer's markets and they do decent, you know. I just need to replace my yarn money. That's pretty much it for me. So they had sent me an email and I replied back that I would be interested if my type of product fits what they're looking for their market. And they emailed me back, said, see you April 6th. I'm like, cool. The nice thing about this, because it is brand new and they're just starting out, your first 3 months are free. No fees to set up. Now, of course, you have to have your own tables and your own chairs, blah, 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 which, you know, we have that. Now, I chose a covered area because of weather. April usually isn't rainy for here. But once you get towards June, it's like an everyday occurrence. And these things are supposed to be rain or shine. So I'll get to test it out for 3 months. And if I think it's a good fit for me, then I can continue to do it. And my setup fee if I remember correctly, for a 10 by 10 space covered would be $40. I'm not ready to invest in a canopy thing yet. One day, maybe. We'll see. So I have a couple of things lined up as far as markets go. I mean, I haven't really, like, hunted things down and, you know, I haven't really looked, I should say, because I wasn't sure with the jury duty thing. I'm just glad I didn't have to go. But it did stink to be stuck for like 3 weeks of not being able to make plans for things. So now that my temperature blanket is out of the way and my filet crochet puppy dog blanket was out of the way, I mean, oh, it's like I can relax and I can just kick back and take my time and like enjoy the process and just have fun with my crocheting. So, and people that do like weekly markets, I don't know that I would be interested in that. I don't want to feel that pressure of having to like make 10, 15 plushies a day, you know, to keep the inventory level. Once a month would be fine with me. Anywho, so generic boppy, a couple of kinda failed loveys. Again, I'm not sure the purpose of them, but I hear people talking about them, so I wanted to try it. And a test basket and a couple of cute little bunnies. And that has been my week. Okay, so that is my big update. I am going to hit the proverbial road and say farewell for now. We will see you next time. And if you want to hang out and chit chat some more, you can check out this video right over here.